So I don't know if you listen to Planet Money, but Planet Money has been doing the Planet Money Summer School, and this week one of the things they talked about was sunk costs and how just because you have invested time into something doesn't mean you should finish it if you feel like it is no longer worth your time. And so I was just practicing my my observance of sunk costs and making sure that they don't control my actions.
See, but if we listened to that sunk cost fallacy and lived our lives by that, we wouldn't have made Moonrakers or Veiled Fate, because I wanted to give up twice.
Calculated risk.
Calculated risk, right.
Yeah.
Right.
Not all time spent is sunk cost. You have to, there's a balance.
It's a balance.
Yeah. You have to determine.
Just
like
the
the
idea
Force.
that you can't go off of that as a reason to continue.
Sure.
Right.
By itself.
Exactly.
Like people do in relationships.
Yes, that's one of the examples they used.
Yeah.
On
Gotta
Planet
look out
Money.
for that.
Everyone go listen to Planet Money. It's great.
It is a great show.
Yes.
I've listened to at least one episode.
You should listen to more because they're all good. Every single episode.
I listened to the first 20 minutes of an episode.
that's like the whole episode. They're only 20 minutes.
And it's like, well, sunk cost. I shouldn't listen to the rest of it.
That's right.
No. See, but if I listen to Planet Money, when would I listen to my nerdy fantasy books?
I think what you need to ask yourself is how deep into the sunk cost are you on the fantasy books? And
I'm currently listening.
I'm
currently listening to this book for the second time. It's A Wise Man's Fear. No, wait.
I love that book.
The Name of the Wind. Which one's the first one, Max?
Name of the Wind's the first one.
I'm listening to The Name of the Wind.
Not you too, Max.
Oh yeah, it's one of the best books I've ever read.
I mean, to be honest, so the only fiction I ever read is fantasy.
Yeah, same.
But like, I don't read much.
You've read Sanderson as well, right? You've read like the Way of Kings books and stuff.
Yeah, I've read Mistborn and
Nice.
I read Harry Potter. Does that count as fantasy?
It
That's
does,
fantasy, right?
but
yeah, absolutely.
On a totally different playing field. It's like the Junior League.
I also read Twilight back when it came out. That is also fantasy.
Oh,
I saw that movie
I
front
thought
row in theaters.
The worst thing you would say on the show is that Catan is the best board game of all time, and I've just been proven wrong.
We'll get to that later.
That'll be a different episode.
Cool.
Oh, no.
Well, yeah. Welcome to the Ivy Games Weekly podcast show.
Podcast show.
Well, it'll
Live
eventually
stream?
be a podcast, but
It's not on audio only right now, right?
No, not at the moment, but it will be.
It will be.
Nice.
At some point. Yeah, I don't know, whenever we get around to that. So if you're a person who just likes to listen to these type of things in your car, it is coming for you.
Yeah. I was really sad to miss last week. I don't plan on missing too many of these, but
I'm
things
the
happen.
longest running guest.
Are you? You are. Look at you.
Yeah.
We missed you.
The way you said that made me real happy inside. Sam.
No,
Thank
we
you.
did. We did mention last week that you were working on the mental health marketing conference, which is a conference you put on every year, and that was an amazing thing. And we're glad you had the space to work on it.
Well, thank you for giving me that space. I literally did this. I talked, but it wasn't about the same things, and I prefer talking about board games a lot more. So let's do that.
Let's do that. So this week, what are we talking about? We have a bunch more equipment coming in. We're going to have a multicam setup next week.
I'm excited about that. We also have a special guest next week.
Everybody, this is one of the things that you have been saying is that you'd like to get a little bit closer to us, that this camera angle is a little wide. And we agree, and we're working on it next week. Yeah. So, yes, there's also something else special about next week. So
if you have watched any Moonrakers material, you'll probably have seen some special guests, one of those being Mark Streed from the Dice Tower. Mark is a friend, and he is going to come on the show and talk to us, I think, about getting started in the industry, which is going to be really fun.
Yeah, maybe. We haven't
confirmed
that.
Yeah, we haven't confirmed that. Maybe I shouldn't have said that, but whatever. He's going to be on the show. He's going to talk to us about something.
That's okay. That's what this show is about, saying things that we have to
walk back
later.
I don't think that's what the show's about.
Yeah.
That's a good foundation, though.
Oh, no. Well, Mark, if that doesn't end up being the topic, I apologize, but we're super excited to have you on the show next week. But yeah, this week, special topic, we're talking all about luck and I am really excited about that because luck is just one of those things that is either the best part of your night or the worst part of your night, depending on how that luck goes.
Yeah. So whenever you first brought up this topic of luck, and specifically as it relates to board games, I immediately thought I hate luck in board games. Like I wish that every single decision I made were like directly correlated to if I win or not.
Yep.
But then I started thinking about the games that I like and the amount of luck that are in them. And it turns out that I don't actually feel that way.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you think you feel.
Yeah.
But then when you actually apply it, if you played a game without luck, even chess, which I was like, Zach, we're going to talk about, games with a ton of luck, like Candyland. Then we're going to talk about games with no luck, like chess. And Zach was like, well, chess has luck in it. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, it's like whether you play white or black. And I was like, oh. And white does have a statistical advantage. I think it's really small. Max, do you know what it is? It's like 51% to 49% or something really small. But it is a little bit of luck.
Yeah, but that's basically no luck. Like, that's not...
But there is some luck.
I would not call chess a luck.
No. Chess is about as far away as you can get.
Is Go, like, no luck as well?
Maybe.
That feels thrown around that space.
You're talking about Sushi Go, right?
Yeah.
No, I know what you're saying. But it's a really interesting thing to think through because player agency, how much your decisions affect the outcome of the game, is something that we all obviously care about. Like no one deep into the hobby is like, I want to play a game that is completely random and I have no effect on whether I win. Because that's just like an event. That's not a game. That's just like something that happens.
Yep.
You want to have some kind of impact on that. Max, do you have any like luck elements that you hate in games?
Well, I mean, anything that's just going to only negatively affect you is, like, I mean, to me, the worst kind of luck. Like, I don't mind stuff that can swing stuff only to the positive, especially in co-op games. That's a fun thing to come across. Where it's like, oh, we might get lucky, but we can't count on it. But then once you get into, like, this thing might happen and it's going to screw up your whole game, it's like, why? The point is fun. Why?
I mean, I think you would walk that back a little bit in this certain case, but I just couldn't stop thinking about Pandemic when you flip the epidemic cards. It's just like, why? No, not right now, is always my feeling when that happens in that game.
But that's still controlled. Like, they purposely make it to where they're spread across the deck in a controlled fashion.
Yeah, that's a really good
Otherwise,
mechanic.
you could draw a bunch in a row, and that would be
Have you ever done one back to back?
Ever. Oh,
it's possible.
Back to back.
Yeah. It's possible. Yeah. It's the worst, but it is possible to have them back to back. It's interesting.
I haven't played it.
No, you don't play it.
I need to. Pandemic. I played Pandemic once.
Yeah, you played it with us once.
It was a while
ago. It wasn't Legacy. Legacy's great.
Yeah.
So in thinking about this, we've talked about this YouTube video. It's the Game Maker's Toolkit video about luck, and they have distinguished it really well. And it's basically talking about two types of luck. You're talking about pre-luck and like post-luck, and to break that down a little bit more, even it's luck that happens before you make a move or luck that happens after you make a move.
Yeah.
And one of the examples they use in that video is like RNG on like a shooter game. When you pull the trigger and your cursor's on someone, does it hit them or not? Mm-hmm. Which everyone hates because you're aiming right at them.
Yeah, it's a great video. You should go watch it. We'll put the link in the show notes and maybe as a little thing, a clickable thing. But I found it really interesting, and how it really comes down to like, do you have any control over the luck of the game? So whenever it comes before a decision that you make, you still get to make your decisions after that luck. And so you are what your decisions are will still change based on that luck. Like in Moonrakers, we might talk about this too, but like the luck of what comes up on the board whenever
like in the store
in the store whenever you first set up the game, and then also what you draw after that. That is all luck, but then the choices you make, who you buy, who you purchase and stuff is just part of the strategy. So you just have to adjust your strategy to that.
Yeah. I believe the word is hire.
Yes, hire. we were so deep into Moonrakers for so long that that's all my mind thought about, and now it's been like a few months, and I think that I like that the trauma has
subsided a little bit. That's good.
It was kind of just like blocked everything out. So
no Sams were harmed in the making of Moonrakers.
Yeah, but then there's the type of luck that comes after you make a decision, like the RNG in shooters, and sometimes it just feels really unfair, really terrible.
Yeah.
Well,
absolutely.
Something. Yeah, Max, I wonder what you'd think about the hazard dice in Moonrakers, because it kind of has pre and post luck. Because go ahead.
Yeah, there's the element of like you're trying to mitigate that risk beforehand,
right?
And so it's not. I think a lot of times you're going into it and are so unclear as to what the options are, like, could end up being, and then it's gonna feel very unfair. But it's fascinating that, like, in terms of like post luck, there's a whole genre like wargaming is like
a lot of post luck,
cornerstone of it.
Yep.
Like
you make
for something
that
feels so heavy, it's amazing that can get away with so much post luck and like just die rolls that are gonna influence the entire game, and you can't really even step away from that and still be a true war game.
Yeah, no, it's like the cornerstone, like you said, of a lot of games, like that type of luck.
You know, it's funny that you bring up die rolls. It's one of the things they talk about in the video, but it is a strange phenomenon where a die roll really never feels unfair. No matter what you're playing, you're playing Dungeons and Dragons and you're rolling your D20.
I don't know about that. Never
if you get
unfair.
a 1, you feel bad about it.
It depends on how many ones I've rolled that night.
Yeah, that's true. It can start to feel a little bit, but you never feel like the dice is cheating you.
I wanted to talk about that, and I'm sorry, I'm cutting you off.
Though.
Oh, Max.
So they actually weight a lot of D20s to be statistically more often to go very low or very high, which I thought was really interesting. So like you're more likely to roll 20s and 1s than anything else on some D&D dice, which is just like an odd.
Do you have to like disclose that before
you know, that's a good question. But it's just like I can't remember what it's like powered dice or something like that. But like basically like you're more likely to roll really high or really poorly for cinematic reasons. And I thought that was interesting. Like I love it when I'm a DM and someone rolls a 1. Oh, it feels so good. Especially when they're trying to jump from a bear's back into a 3rd-story window.
Yeah, and you know what? That should have worked.
Oh, no. All right, I cut you off. Do you remember what you were saying, or do you want to move on? Yeah, okay. He doesn't remember what he was saying.
Yeah.
Something you said, Max, about mitigating risk. Like, I love games that let me take big risks, which are based on luck, in order to get ahead. But there also has to be a way to plan for that risk. And when you can do that, so a good example is in Moonrakers, which we're going to talk a lot, obviously, sorry. It's the game we made, so it's the most reference we have for mitigating luck. But for that, you could take a lot of risk and negotiate for better rewards by taking more hazard dice in a negotiation. But you can also mitigate that luck by having a lot of shields in your hand, or by building a ship that has lots of ship parts that have to do with protecting you from hazards. And so there are strategies that you can build around taking that extra luck element of the game and making it part of your strategy. And I love opportunities like that allow me to risk more to get ahead.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think there's some times when you roll a die and you can blame it, and you think that like all of the pressure of it's like on the die, whereas like some games, like I think Moonrakers is a good example, but you feel at like you're the problem. Like you took that risk on.
Yeah.
You knew going into it what was going to happen. And if it goes badly for you, you're to blame. And I think it's important that you can at least feel that and not just feel cheated by a game.
Yeah. No, that's really true. I'm trying to think of times I've really felt cheated by games. I feel like
it's like I know board gamers love Catan, but sometimes you put your settlements on those 6s and 8s, and then it feels like a 6 and an 8 never get rolled.
But 3 gets rolled like 80 times.
Even though it has the highest probability, it is. I mean, it's frustrating.
Oh yeah, no.
But then, also, it doesn't feel unfair. Like you knew that was a possibility going into it.
Yep.
Well, that's what's special about Catan, though, is like a game's luck is so dependent on how many times a die is rolled or how many dice are rolled in a game to like, because you can have probabilities, but the fewer you roll, the less chances you're going to actually meet those probabilities. And so unless Catan was, I don't know, like rolling 5 times as many dice, like you don't see those actual odds. So some games are going to feel like you're cheating. Like 12s get rolled every other turn and you're like, I don't understand.
I don't understand. And I think it's really interesting too, like that element of luck in Catan and other games helps level the playing field between player skill levels too.
Yeah.
And I think that's important for a lot of games that aren't supposed to be top of the level competitive games. Like if I'm playing a competitive game for a lot of money, which never happens, but if it were to happen, I would want there to be very little luck in it. I want it to be purely my skill versus someone else's skill. But when I'm playing a game with my family on vacation, I want there to be lots of luck because I want them to go into it and be like, I have a shot at winning this thing versus Austin who's played it 20 times.
Yeah.
And so I think that's an important thing to think about when you're making your game is your audience. Like, is your audience going to be casual gamers? Is it going to be really, intense gamers? Like, if it's intense gamers, there shouldn't be a ton of luck depending on the type of game.
Sure. So I'd say it's not even just about the casual audience that like somebody who's really into board games is bringing this to a casual audience and you want them to be competitive. I think that it is also for the competitive gamer, and it is a benefit to them because you go into that game knowing that you'll have to work really hard to win.
Yeah.
And so just because you care a lot more about video or board games and you play a lot more board games doesn't mean that you can just walk all over these people. Yeah.
That's nice. I like that too. Yeah, that's a good thought.
And so it keeps games interesting for people who play a lot of games.
I really like it.
I think it's nice.
I really like it when games let you start mitigating your risk over the course of the game. And I've been playing a lot of Twilight Imperium, so I keep bringing this up in the shows, but Twilight Imperium, you have that whole research tree where you can start making your ships better than everyone else's, which is great because you're rolling so many D10s in that game, and you have hits on certain numbers and above, and just going from a hit on a 6 to a hit on a 5 is so big in that game, and can make your luck feel so much better. So I like options to start doing mitigation that's permanent in the game for luck too. So
and talking about like pre-luck stuff, some of my favorite games are those like dice worker placements where like I get to roll a bunch and then like regardless of that I get to then decide where those are going to go and how they're going to work for me, and that's super fun because it's like it almost doesn't feel like luck at all because it's just like, oh, these are the things I can do.
Have you played Sagrada, Max?
Yes.
The Sagrada Familia?
Yes, it's based on that. So basically it's a dice drafting game, but you're trying to build patterns that get you points basically. But you roll all the dice at the same time and then you draft in a turn
like
order.
The patterns thing.
That's where it's coming from, yeah. But what's so great about that game is the luck is kind of the same for everyone per turn, and then you draft in turn order, and so it's kind of like collective luck. And I feel the same way about like roll and write games, like Railroad Inc. Max. That's collective luck. Like, yes, the way you built your railroad might be better when someone rolls this certain intersection, but everyone's had those same options. It's not luck that's individual per person, and I think that's really neat.
I didn't think about it from those types of games. That's because it's really a fascinating concept it's like who does luck the best, like who can handle this luck the best.
Yeah.
And I thought something from the video that was good is the analysis paralysis problem with games.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, you kind of need luck because in some fashion, you need randomness in some fashion, or people are going to just overthink everything.
This is me in chess. Yeah, me in chess. Like, I'll try to think 4 or 5 moves ahead, and you just can't. And so I think they talked about chess specifically in terms of like there are other ways to do that besides luck, which is the fact that there are so many possible moves that it's deterring someone from actually trying to, like you are. But I do it too, and I'm like, and I hate it because I'll spend 5 minutes on a turn. And then they'll do something different than I planned. Just completely different. Yep. And you're like, well, I really shouldn't even try to be a chess master because it's impossible for my small brain. But no, I totally agree with you.
I think some of the best moments in games are from post-luck because if they allow for some kind of Hail Mary game, like I think it's really fun to, I mean, going back to Catan, like, how dumb is the strategy that I'm just going to keep drawing cards until I grab one victory point to win? Yeah. But it's like, it feels so good when you do it. So
yeah. Well, for everyone else at the table, they hate you.
Yes.
I'm only talking about me, though.
So one thing that was at the end of that video that I really liked is that people like randomness when something they're expecting that's bad ends up being something good. Way more, obviously. I mean, it's common sense than something they're expecting to be good ends up bad.
People like good things.
Yeah, people like good
to
things
happen when they weren't expecting them to.
But like, I've never thought about that as like a mechanic, like in a game where it's like something already bad has happened. Like you're dead. But you could roll, a natural 20 or something like that, and you're just naturally better. And it's very different than like a death save roll where in D&D where you're dying or you're not dying. It's like you're already dead, but like something good could happen. I want to put that mechanic in a game, Sam.
Okay, do it.
All right, sweet.
I think this all comes back to really the human element of playing board games, and being around a table with a group of other people, and the interactions that you're able to have there. And one of the quotes that was shared in that video is that drama is driven by the unexpected. And I think that is so nice and just eloquently put. And it is so true. Like you can talk about these board game mechanics and like what makes them fun and what doesn't make them fun, but it's like what makes somebody just like scream and like tear their hair out around the table, and
that's
like
true.
What makes you jump up with joy. It is when something happens that you just really weren't expecting, or that was just like such a low probability. It's one of the things we really wanted to nail in Moonrakers too, was like, can I finish that mission? Yeah. Can I complete it? And it's not quite sure because there's a little bit of post and pre-luck in a deck builder. Yeah. Because you build your deck and that's your pre-luck, and so you set it up in a way that you have the best chance of getting what you need. Yep. But then you still have that little bit of like, am I actually going to draw what I need right here?
Yeah, because you're literally like, I have this thruster that lets me draw 2 more cards, and I have to draw a reactor, my turn is over, and I'm going to lose a ton of prestige from hazard dice. It's a hard moment.
So it all really comes back to that like human element of it. Yeah. Like what is the thing that when you are playing a game with someone else makes you all just like feel it and remember it, and you'll talk about it later.
That was actually a really good plug for our next game that we're not going to talk about that much, but there's like the tagline of that game really needs to be interesting, because often things that you're expecting to happen go the other way, and you have to then analyze why did it go the other way. And so I think we'll talk about that in a future episode. But
sure.
Yeah, I'm pumped about that. That's luck.
Max, you got any final thoughts on that?
I think it's important. I think you got to find your balance. Some games do it well. Like, the whole push your luck games, like those are super fun just for this moment you're talking about, Sam. Like they're built around that idea. Like, can someone keep going? I don't know if you guys have played the Pass the Pigs game.
No,
I haven't.
You guys haven't played that game?
No, why don't you come down and we can play it?
You just roll two pigs and you get points based on how they land. And
are they dice?
They're just actual small pigs.
I don't even think I've heard of this game, which I feel like is getting rare.
Yeah, highly recommend. And it's just like one specific way they'll land, which is pretty common, will end your turn. And so you roll, and then you can put the points in, or you can keep going. And like, you could try to go for the win in one turn or not. Great game.
Ooh,
highly recommend.
I want to push my pigs.
Yeah, Sam would go for the win in one turn every time. That's just how Sam is.
Every single time.
Real fast, and this does tie into luck. One of our D&D campaigns, Sam went into a hideout where guys were playing poker and literally sat down and played poker, bluffing that he was a guard. And I made him roll so many times as a bluff, but then he also had to roll for his cards because he was playing poker. And I have no idea how his luck lasted that long.
It was a great moment.
It made me mad as a DM.
About. Those are the moments of glory that you get from luck.
It was the worst one. I don't think he rolled below a 15 all of those difficulty checks. It was ridiculous.
It was fantastic.
All right. Well, that is our special topic. Let us know if you had thoughts on luck that we didn't have, and the type of game, like how much luck do you like in your games? And if you have any examples of games that do luck really well, we'd love to play them.
Yeah, in the comments.
In the comments.
Put that down there, and then make sure to check out that Maker's Toolkit video, because it is really good and just a great summation of luck in game design.
Yeah, definitely. They also talk about Slay the Spire a lot, and it's fantastic.
Cool. New games we love? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, we're going to talk about games. Max, you're going to be up first. I'm really excited about your choice here.
Dead Reckoning. This game is so cool.
I'm not going to lie. I'm going to let you do your thing, but this is in my top 5 most anticipated games.
Austin really wanted to do this game, and Max
beat me to it. So
I gave him every chance. So Dead Reckoning, kind of like a sandbox, like a 4X game, and you are merchants or pirates if you choose, and are just heading around in this big map trying to honestly head a bunch of different directions and do the best at anywhere you're going. This game kind of took me by surprise when I was looking at it, because everything about the art and everything I was seeing made it seem like it was going to be lighter than it was. And the more I got into it, I was like, this is a big game.
Yeah, 4X game.
And there's so much to do. There's like 9 objectives. First person to hit 4 of them will trigger the end. And so people can go so many different directions.
Yeah.
And all the pieces are so cool. The ships you have, and that dice tower-y thing. You're not rolling dice.
Golly, it's cubes.
How did you find out how it ended? Did you watch a playthrough or a preview or something?
How it ended?
Yeah, how the game
ended. The game ends.
I did my homework.
No, I know. I just couldn't. This is one of the things I was going to say, is I couldn't find out how you finish the game, how you end the game on the Kickstarter page.
I didn't find it on Kickstarter. I found it somewhere else.
Okay. Because me and Sam were talking. We're like,
this is going to be a theme of this week, because more than one of the Kickstarters we are talking about does not explain how you win.
Oh, gosh. It was, I was like, I love everything about this game, and I'm like telling Sam about all the cool parts about it, and then Sam's like, how do you win? And I was like, I don't know. So I'm glad Max found it, because I was curious. Max, tell us more about that it's not a dice tower, cube tower, because
cube tower, I guess. So it's an actual ship, and
it's really cool.
Cube ship, I guess, is what we'd call it. And you're collecting cubes, and when you're going into battle with someone or just part of the game, you're rolling these cubes down the ship, and where they land in these different sections are going to determine what happens. Do you get a hit? Do you get more loot? And I love that, because it's a totally different.
Yeah, talk about different type of luck.
Yeah.
How your cube rolls down a hill.
I think it is a fantastic example
I think it's sweet.
of taking your theme and really building like a game mechanic around it, because it's like this: you're a pirate or a merchant, and you're out in a boat on the sea, and like you have broadside ship battles, and they took that idea and they molded it into an actual mechanic for their game, and it's super cool.
Yeah, I was kind of blown away by it. I think it's really neat.
Yeah, and I don't think we could talk about Dead Reckoning without like the whole crafting and enhancement aspect. Nope. I think that's pretty big. You get a crew, and these crews are upgraded over time by these cards you're getting that are like, so they're all sleeved, and you're just throwing in new cards that are going to add to them.
Yeah, the advancements are on transparent cards, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so you can just keep seeing
stack
more and more. Yeah, of like an empty card at the beginning will just fill up over time.
I think that's so cool.
So cool. Yeah.
It's so cool. I mean,
you can upgrade your ship. There's just so many. Like, that's my favorite thing. Is just upgrading anything. Just
Yeah.
Like,
yes, we learned last week that your favorite thing is just building characters.
Yeah.
And,
character creation.
Love
character creation.
The like board, the like player board was enough to sell me, and then I just kept seeing things that I loved about it. And I mean, 4X games are my favorite type of game. If you don't know what 4X is, it's explore, expand, exploit, and exterminate, I think.
Yeah.
But like, I love big games like that where you're getting to like explore, and then it's like all about at the end like dominating everything that you see. And I mean, I'm excited to do that as a pirate and make my ship look awesome.
I like that.
I have a question for you, Max.
What do you got?
The Kickstarter says that it has some asymmetric win conditions, and you can choose to be a pirate or a merchant or anything like that. Do you have to choose that at the beginning of the game, or is that something you can choose as you go?
So it's just you'll always have the 9 achievements available to you, and the 4 you go for in any given game is up to you.
It's kind of like Scythe in that, right, okay. Max? Like the end game condition? Yeah,
and so you're just kind of, you could roll with the punches. I'm sure you have an idea at the beginning what you're going to do. Yeah. But if someone attacks you, you end up winning that battle, you might be like, okay, I guess I'm a pirate now. Like, I'm going to start going and attacking other people.
I really wanted to be an honest sailor.
I know, but
why'd you have to come and attack me?
Yeah, and I love there's just a little pirate flag that you're choosing, I think, at the beginning of your turn to put on your ship, which is like
I didn't see that.
Of what's going to happen.
You're just like
I'm a pirate. It's so cool.
Flying the Jolly Roger. Oh, everyone look out. Don't go near Max. That's great.
I thought they also had a really great variety in the crew that you could hire. Lots of options. It seems like you could play it over and over again and have a really different experience.
Like I said, top 5 most anticipated game for me. I'm really excited about it. And Moonrakers is one of those. So really top 4 most anticipated game for me.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. Max. Nope. Sam.
Oh, me.
Max and Sam.
Max, you can talk about it too. I'm talking about the Shivers, which is a pretty cool name, honestly.
Yeah,
I like
both of these names have been cool.
Yeah, it's clever and really like emotive. I like it a lot. If I had to describe it in like one sentence, I would just say it's Clue on steroids. It is a little bit different. The game mechanics are not trying to like find a murderer, but it is a mystery game. You are trying to uncover something. This is another game that doesn't tell you how you win.
On the Kickstarter page.
On the Kickstarter page. It is a mystery game, so I assume that you are solving the mystery, and that is how you win.
All right, so
it does not say that.
My biggest question is, it keeps saying you work together, but I can't tell if you win together or if you win alone. Did you figure
everything
that out?
I am seeing about it seems like you win together. Like
okay.
It is a fully cooperative game.
Okay.
And
it looked like there was a DM.
There was a DM?
Yes, there is a DM. There's they call it a storyteller.
Okay.
There is a DM. I think they also play. I could be wrong about that.
I mean, that's fun.
I'm not sure. Anyway, it has these incredible 3D pop-up modular rooms that
cool.
you solve the mysteries in, and they have like working doors and secret compartments,
windows
and windows. That's all kinds of cool stuff. It is really cool if you really like that tactile interaction with the game.
What really impressed me was how much they thought about those backgrounds. Like there's like inserts that you pull out and then you like spin around or just like rotate once and you put back in, and it changes what's in all those hidden doors and what's in all those things. So it really takes the existing like rooms that are really neat and makes them replayable across different games.
Yes.
And I think was really smart of them. Otherwise it would have been way too expensive to make that many rooms.
Yeah, definitely. That's actually one of the outstanding questions I have about it is how replayable it is, because the base game comes with 8 stories, which is what it calls it, and then there's a possible 6 more that you can get in the deluxe version. Each one of those stories might work 4 times, and in that case, there'd be a lot of options here. But they might also only work once, and so you only have a maximum of 14 possible scenarios.
Right.
that does seem like a little bit, but also think about how many times you play games.
Exactly. Yeah. If you're playing that game 14 times, then I think you're probably getting your money's worth.
Definitely.
Hey, money's worth.
Money's worth. Yeah. Last week's episode, watch that one.
Yeah. No. I mean, if I get that to the table 14 times, I'm gonna be really happy with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna come out with more expansions with it, hopefully, eventually, and then you'll get even more happy with it. So,
for something I saw in that game, they have a die that you roll for things that you're trying to do, and the faces on it are like doesn't work, kind of works, totally works.
Oh yeah.
Backfires, and like I think there's such a fun story element to add to it.
Yeah, I mean they market it as a role playing game, and that really fits into role playing mechanics for me. It's not just pass fail. It's like it kind of worked, but this also happened. I like that.
Yeah, there's everyone gets to pick their character at the beginning. That's Max's favorite part.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll
character
be there
creation.
the whole time.
just reading everyone's stats.
That's 10 nights of entertainment for Max. So.
But yeah, it was fantastic. This is not a real criticism, but they use dry erase boards for the characters and for like keeping track of stuff and everything. Great for the environment, really fantastic. But that somebody's just gonna accidentally drop their arm on their dry erase board at some point and to destroy it. All their hard work. So be careful with your dry erase boards.
Yeah, that's a good life lesson just in general.
Yeah, definitely. But that's the Shivers. So I think it's cool.
Yeah. We back the deluxe.
Just the fact if you're looking for something to play with like a family, younger children, it seems fantastic. Like I'm sold just on the art and like the playing experience.
Yeah, I mean definitely something you could take to people's house that are not board gamers, and it would just be like an experience for them. And I think that would be really good use of it.
So yeah, Austin, your game is not a new game. It is a new game.
It's a new game.
It is part of a series of games that has been around for like 10 years.
10 years. It's actually the 10-year anniversary of Ascension, which I did not know Ascension had been out that long. I guess time flies. Really great deck building game. You've probably played it at least once. Tons of expansion content for it. This takes that deck building mechanic and applies it to a miniatures combat game. Initially, I was like, oh, like a combat game. Like I just pictured PvP, but they made it PvP. Like there's a story mode on it. There's PvE basically, and I'm really excited to get to experience that because, I mean, I like PvP games. I like winning as like a solo person, usually versus Zach. I like that he's not here, but I usually beat Zach in a lot of games. So
I don't know if he would agree with that.
No, he wouldn't.
He's throwing shade while he's not here.
Yep, no, that's totally the plan. But I also like if my wife is playing, I don't think this is a game that I get to play, but I love like doing both games where you can do both. But the miniatures in this game, they look real nice.
They look really cool.
Really, really nice.
And there's a lot of them.
There are
38.
Yeah.
It's a lot. We're making a game with miniatures right now, and like, one, it is expensive, and two, it takes a long time, and like, it's impressive.
Yeah. And a lot of games with miniatures do just like one miniature, and then it has 10 versions of that, and there's a little bit of that in this game, but almost most, I would say most, like all except for 10 are totally individual miniatures. Like you see a lot of distinct models in that Kickstarter versus replications.
Definitely, and they are all cool.
Oh yeah,
I can't stress that enough.
Did you have a favorite?
Oh man, now you put me on the spot.
I am putting you on the spot. I like the robot looking thing. It wasn't a robot,
yeah, the
but
robot thing. The Big Brother from BioShock.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I like that one a lot. I mean, just such a fun idea to take a loved board game and for its 10th year, make a new way to play it. Like it's got the familiar characters that you're used to in the game. It's got a lot of the same mechanics, like the play style. Like what I was reading from the reviews was that it feels like you're playing Ascension, but then you have just like this totally new application for it, and you have these amazing miniatures of characters that you've seen on cards for the last 10 years. So what a cool idea. It's already doing very well. I think it'll probably pass 500K before the end of the day.
Yes. I have not played Ascension. but it looks great. It looks like a pretty like straightforward deck building game, and I like deck building games, and so I think I would probably really enjoy this.
Sam, can you talk to me a little bit about? I mean, technically, I don't know if you need Ascension in order to play it. I don't think
you guys are talking about not knowing the win conditioning of your games. I am not super familiar with Ascension, and I went through this thing, and I was like, I still don't understand Ascension. I just know what's going to be in this thing. So I thought maybe it was an expansion because context for Ascension was not there.
It says Ascension Tactics, the deck building miniatures game, which makes me think it's completely standalone.
I think it is standalone. In my looking through the page, I think it's standalone, and that makes 3 out of 3 games this week that
We're not
do not
sure.
explain how you win them.
I'm pretty sure in this game it's probably just killing everything that's not you, but it's not ever said explicitly. So maybe I'm wrong.
Oh, is it combat based?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I probably should have figured that out.
Yeah, it's definitely kill everyone else or anyone that's not on your team.
Nice.
I'm interested to see what the campaign's like. Like, do you keep your deck across time? Like, is that what you're building and upgrading, and that's what the campaign is? But it seems like you do a lot of upgrading each game.
I think it's more like Moonrakers in that you build your deck each game.
But they have a campaign mode, is what I'm saying. So like, how does that work?
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll have to ask him sometime. Maybe we can get him on the show sometime. That'd be fun.
That would be fun.
We talked a lot about the pledge levels on this.
Yeah.
Max, did you look at the pledge levels?
I did not.
This is an expensive game. I think let me just put it out there. I think it is worth it. I think the quality of the components, the miniatures that you're getting, like it looks pretty great. But it is expensive. The cheapest pledge level is $100, I think, and I don't think you can get everything for that.
What was the most expensive pledge level, Sam?
There is a $7,500 pledge level.
There's 4 of them.
There's 4 of them, and 2 of them have already been taken.
Yeah.
And you get to become a character in Ascension if you want to spend $7,500.
Normally when I see a Kickstarter with that big of a level and it's like 1 out of 4 or like 1 out of 10 taken, I always assume it was the person that made the Kickstarter that backed at that level so that they would try to entice other people. Not on this game. I know there is someone that was like, I want to be in Ascension, and they're just like, heck yes.
You know what, honestly, is probably the most economically feasible way to get into a board game. Because as we talked about last week, it costs a lot more than that to actually make a board game. So,
although honestly, if someone came to us and was like, "Here's $2,500, can you just put me on a card?" I mean, we'd at least consider that. I'm not soliciting that. Please do not.
We are soliciting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody who wants to be in Moonrakers for $7,500, just let us know, and you will be. We will reprint everything.
No, we won't do that. We'll do an expansion with you in it.
Yes.
Yeah, we can do that.
We'll make an expansion of your whole family. It'll be.
Oh no. Just like a little kid.
This is not a joke. I am serious.
Oh goodness.
We will not walk this one back.
No, this one never ever. Okay. What if we had like 100 people come? I mean,
we're making great money then.
That's true.
Lots of expansions. It's good for everyone.
Man. Okay, so that's Ascension Tactics. Definitely the minis alone make it tempting, but you can't keep doing that. Like, that was like what I said about a bunch of Kickstarters that I backed, and so I can't keep doing that.
But
this game looks like it has
You can keep doing it, and you will keep doing it, Austin.
This game looks like it has the gameplay of Ascension mixed with that, and so you already know the gameplay is going to be good. So
hold on. I just want to stop you. The Star Wars Rebellion is your favorite game. When do the ships stop?
So I think you're thinking of Star Wars X-Wing and Armada.
Sorry, yes.
Different game. So, but there are people that play Star Wars Rebellion, and then anytime there's a space combat, they play Armada, and anytime there's a ground combat, they play Legion, and then when their fighters get engaged, they play X-Wing, and I want to be those people.
This is my first time hearing about this, and this is amazing.
Isn't it? I read that, and I was like, how do I become friends with that person, and will they move to Nashville? Because I can't leave Nashville. So I don't know. It's like that level of dedication. I mean, it would take you weeks to just finish one game of Rebellion if you did that every time there was a space battle. But oh my goodness, would that be fun?
That would be fun. You should set something up at like Gen Con or something. That'd be.
I don't think we could finish it.
Nah.
Because like Rebellion is like busy. A 5-hour game if the people know how to play, and then Armada is like a 3-hour.
Wow, I really sidetracked this. Anyways,
Ascension, great game. Based on what I'm seeing on the Kickstarter, I couldn't. What Sam said, like it's expensive, but there are things that are worth it, and this one definitely falls in that category for us. So
yeah,
I'm excited
absolutely.
about it. Cool. You want to talk about what's going on at IV?
Oh yeah.
Great. What's going on in IV? I'm just kidding. I'm not going to make you do it.
Oh, no.
So I have big Moonrakers news, and I'll find out in about 5 seconds whether Sam's going to cut this or not. But
nothing gets cut.
Nothing gets cut. It's all live?
Nah.
Oh, great. All right. So I didn't ask permission to share this, but I just heard from Panda today that mass production ends on Monday or Tuesday of next week. So we are at the end of mass production, which I couldn't be more excited about. That's a pop the champagne moment for me.
Fantastic.
So really pumped about that. And then right after that, it starts getting on a boat, and then we'll have an update on a timetable for things, which I'm very excited to be able to say. Things are literally in the water and on their way. So
yep, we are actually sending Austin to China, probably illegally, because I don't think you can travel there. To sit on that boat with the games
just the whole way,
just to make sure that they get over here. It's
like
a 4-week journey.
Can I borrow the Switch?
Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Yeah, it's only gonna last you like 4 hours.
Right.
But
you play
I'll use it sparingly.
Full game of Star Wars. That'll get you through it.
Yeah, I'll just bring someone else and Armada and X-Wing and Rebellion and Legion. So I bought Legion. I never put the models together. It was just daunting. Maybe one day. Maybe when I'm in the nursing home.
Someday. You'll have time someday.
Yeah, someday.
When your kids are grown and...
Yeah. Kids plus painting minis. I'm going to have to do it at the office. Can I do it at the office?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, great.
Oh, if there's room. You gotta find a spot. The office is messy.
Right now.
The portion that you are seeing is...
beautiful.
The only clean thing in here. COVID has just wrecked everything, including our office.
Yep, it's very true. Any other updates from IV?
Yeah. So the next game is coming along really well. We're actually going to start sharing stuff on social media in about
2 to 3 weeks.
No, a week.
A week.
Yeah.
Well, that's exciting.
So
will we show the name?
Keep your eyes peeled. We will be sharing the name. Yeah. No, not right now.
At any point. Well, yeah, not right now. I know.
Yeah, later.
At any point.
Discord.
During this, you're going to start seeing on social media. You're going to see us talking about it. Join the Discord. The name is on Discord. You could play the game on Discord. Lots of good stuff on Discord. Basically, Discord.
Discord's fantastic,
how many times
but also just social media. We'll share it on every single piece of our social media. So if you're following us anywhere, you will see it.
Yep.
And then last thing is that we pitched a television
you're sharing about this
show. Well, not very much, but we pitched a television series that we've been developing with some other people.
It's not
to
Moonrakers.
A streaming service earlier today.
That's exciting.
And it was very fun and a great experience, and hopefully it keeps going, but it was really cool, and so we're pretty excited about that. We're a little high on it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Another thing to talk about, Zach's not here, but he was a big part of that, and I'm sure he's really excited about that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was expecting something so much more than that.
Yeah, that pause really elevated it.
I just hit the mic. Oh, no. I'll tell you what I thought I was going to say later.
You're going to have to make up for that at some point. That was way too much suspense.
I'm sweaty now.
Okay, that's everything. That's the show for this week. So
please talk to us about luck, games you like, and what level of luck you like in your games, and games we should play that have maybe special luck mechanics. That would be fun.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah,
I'd love that.
I mean, I think the Dead Reckoning, the luck mechanic of the cubes rolling down into the tray, that's a brand new luck mechanic I've never seen. So
yeah, as like a two phase luck mechanic. Pretty
it really
cool.
is. Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Thanks for watching, guys.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to follow on all the places, and don't forget to ironically smash that like and subscribe button.
Thanks.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great week.